all the other wonderful readers this evening. I'm going to be reading all the poems from Pale Mnemonic. I just wanted to say a huge thank you to Aaron for putting it out and for doing such an amazing job on it. It's lovely, I absolutely love it. But thanks to everybody who picked up a copy. That your support really does mean a lot, thank you. So Pale Mnemonic is made up of 9 short poems, and the general theme of the pamphlet is about things that are passed down to us, and the things that are passed down to us by our parents. And the definition of a mnemonic is a series of short reminders. And I wanted this to be a series of short reminders that we don't necessarily have to be the things that are passed down to us. And the first poem I'm going to read is called Upbringing. I associate to remember what is cut. A knife in a pile of excuses for knives. Photographs or smoke. We stood beside the lilac trees. Its butterflies, the cabbage whites that lived, a ghostliness, or the way I mistook them for communion. Your spoken words placed upon my tongue, dry as wheat. How heavily you laid across my shoulders, wooden as a yoke. And the next poem I'm going to read is called Genealogy. Ushering wind into a pale bag, knotted and left to howl. A blueness steeped in a paltry sky, where its limp moon floats and left to season. A thin crescent, a razor blade, shapes of bodies oozing secrets, limbs in the water waiting to be sown. Reportedly, a room without doors, a crescendo of wailing, taxidermy as spectator sport. And the next one I'm going to read is called How I Learned to Talk. For God's sake is similarly toned as my pen scratching the same leaning T into 2. Dear mother, happy birthday. The same way I learned to push metal through, to dice vegetables, to teach my daughter how to tie laces. If I could pull out my tongue, I would salt it and send it straight back to you. Let's have a quick sip of the old Pepsi Max. So the next one I'm going to read is called Immovable Observance. His body, all hollowed out in skin and acetate thinness, glided past, at least in my lumbered separation, beckoned escape from the cold corners of a cold day. The carcass of a spider, its siblings in the net, ignoring play and the polite need for attentiveness in the field where we laid out the lambs. This Lent, or the apparent non-ending of it. I followed to the corner, climbed inside his legs, my legs, pushed into his arms, my arms. In disguise, walked back around. The disappointment of my steps revealed as an echo in the roofs of their quietly chewing mouths. This next poem is called Gifted. 43 sheets of paper The first one new, loosely taped, unfolding like a lank mouth, nearer the floor with every rip, revealing and rewarded, with a silence I swallow down, gently rippling from the sacrum to the cervical spine, like a vertical bleed. Passing the paralysed parcel, the circumference of another year, and between layers, visible indifference, some ham-fisted paternity, a midnight bicycle thrown into a black canal, insurance scams, the way you extracted life from the honeybees. Whatever memories linger when I'm alone, they make me think that somehow I'm meant to feel more than just laying on my side with this hexagonal emptiness. Many happy returns then, sweet heresy. Next poem is called Blue Anemones. An arc is thrown into air and held momentarily until its wetness feels the floor. As a snake becoming the sea is skeletal, then formless. Its blue lakes run the gaps, blisters a ceiling, dying to fall. Redecorates with the pale mnemonic of your fear. Markings on the walls similarly smeared and floral. Blue anemones, explaining pale fingerprints, palms frail lifelines, from yours to mine and me. This next poem is called Sundial. Shadow sun, dialed in, a slanted gnomon in a bright afternoon, watching the lengthening light across the 5 acres where his father used to till. A blunt harrow designed to lift the surface of skin and bone, and fashioned in the deepening furrows alone as he shapeshifts. I've just got 2 more for you. So this next one is called, and forgive my pronunciation, it's called Matryoshka. The entrance of my heart, vena cava inferior, as labelled, in part fashioned from the night he left, twisted open, his small death pulled out, placed snugly in my chest, my atrium wrapping like his fingers on the dining room table. And this is my final poem. This is probably the shortest poem out of the pamphlet, and this is called To/Dear, open brackets, ... close brackets. When you die, I will illuminate with the ovality of a paper lantern, the empennage of a distant plane, untethered from the ankle of a crow. Thank you very much, everyone. Thanks for having me.